Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Zed. Today we're going to be talking about Iterum Therapeutics, also known as ITRM. Now we did talk about ITRM before, but today we're bringing new pieces of due diligence, technical analysis, and what I think about this one. So without further ado, let's jump right into this one. So I did talk about ITRM last time. My previous video is in the description below. But today, let's take a quick look or a quick revision of ITRM. So ITRM as a company, they're a clinical stage pharmaceutical company focused on developing the next generation of oral and IV antibiotics to treat infections caused by multi-drug resistant pathogens in both community and hospital settings. So there's this drug that they're working on. It's called sulopenem, and it works basically for UTIs or urinary tract infection. And they have applied for an FDA new drug application, and it got rejected, and the FDA gave a complete response letter on July 26th. And this letter itself determined that it cannot approve the NDA in its present form. And basically here, the FDA does acknowledge that phase 3 SHORE-1 clinical trial demonstrated statistical significance in the difference overall. However, they basically said that they actually do need additional data in order to go ahead and give that NDA. And so basically, it's not straight out saying it's impossible. No, it's saying that they got to go back and do some additional trials and additional clinical and non-clinical work. So that's a quick summary for this. Now, there's no current events or upcoming events, but they did mention, and we do anticipate that they will be giving us the next steps on the third quarter of 2021, which is undergoing currently. So probably by the start of the next quarter, which would probably be somewhere closer to the end of the month of August or early September. Now, in terms of other news, so this one here, I believe, is back to 2019, December 2019, and we do get some news back onto this one from ITRM. So this is on Yahoo News, and we're just tracking it back. And it said that the SHORE-3 clinical trial, the same one used in the NDA, evaluated its sulopenem compared to itrapenem in complicated intra-abdominal or abdominal infections, did not meet the primary endpoint of clinical response on day 28. So this was previous kind of reports and results. Later on June 1st, Iterum Therapeutics announces the top-line results for phase 3 clinical trial of oral and IV sulopenem in complicated urinary tract infections. And basically, it's evaluated in the MITT population using a 10% non-inferiority margin. And this was in the SHORE-2 clinical trial. Now, in terms of this one, this was the SHORE-3 trial from my understanding, and the difference here, or what I'm actually trying to highlight here, is that it does take them a few months in order to get these trials out. So perhaps they do have enough money to bring in a little bit closer, but I do anticipate this is probably going to be taking at least 5 to 6 months, at least from what I've seen from their history and how fast they are to bring things around. In terms of the SEC filings, but before doing so, if you'd like to see more contents like this, make sure to click the subscribe button and leave notification buttons on. Also, don't forget to drop a like to this video if you would like to support this channel and you're enjoying this video so far, and don't forget to join my Discord. It's in the description below, totally free. In terms of institutional buyers, what you get to see here is that things are somewhat still bullish. We don't see a mass exodus of these companies. In fact, we still see thousands of shares being added. The last one was on July 20th by Royal Bank of Canada and Trilogy Financial on the same day for almost a combined of 50,000 shares. Now, in terms of insiders, we got one on the 25th. They were awarded some shares, but they're not doing anything with those shares as selling, for instance. So that's all good to talk about, but we need to take a look into the short volumes. The short volumes currently are sitting closer to almost 60 or 55%. Now, that is considered massive. That means almost 55 to 60% of all the shares being traded on a volume day is going to the short side. Although the short flow here is very, very small at 2%. We can start talking about technical analysis and referring to this massive drop in a second, but before doing so, we don't have any additional SEC filings to report on other than what we've done in the last video. So make sure you watch that one if you'd like to know more about the previous SEC filings. Let's move on towards technical analysis. So on the technical analysis perspective, on the 1 month, 1 day perspective, what we're starting to see here is that the MACD is actually going on towards the positive side. Things are looking very bullish towards this one in terms of a bullish reversal, and it looks like this might be actually a move. The 80x suggests that this is possible to be, or there's a possibility for this to be a very strong trend. So that's very interesting given the news. William percent R is not even overbought. It's closer to the oversold section, meaning in more buyers are most likely to be coming in. And on the other part here, you're getting to see momentum. It's very close to zero, but so that's a bit negative. And you get to see though, overall, things are looking like they might actually be building traction. Investors are looking away from that sulopenem results and saying, okay, well, this drop might be a little bit overrated given how much money they have in order to run ahead into almost to 2023. Stochastic fast and stochastic slow both are actually pinpointing upwards, showing that there is most likely another leg up for this one. On the moving average bands though, you're getting to see that this one is expected to trade at 152 on the top and around 67 cents in the bottom. In terms of the chart here, you get to see that the Fibonacci retracements sees a significant resistance at the 106 level, 143, 173, 203, 246 and $3. The support is at 45 cents. On a price line action, you're seeing a significant support level that is currently sitting at around 77-ish cents, almost 78. And you're getting to see below there, you're looking down at 69 cents, 61 cents, and then 54 cents, and a very strong one around the 46, 45 cents level. Resistances. This is very interesting because it's a 78 cents seems to be a resistance, and then you have 86, and then 97, and then above there you're looking at 102, and then going on to 109. You're starting to see a strong one at 121, a very strong one at 136, and above there around 155, going up to 160 and around 173. Now hopefully we reach there, but if we do, probably will be doing another video and then talking about the rest of the resistances. In terms of analyst recommendations, the last two we have, one was 5 days ago. They gave an action as an upgrade, a hold action, and this person's success rate is 63% and an average return of 17%. Now 6 days ago, they gave a downgrade on a hold position, and this one here is 37% success rate with 15% average return. So you get to see that you got an upgrade and a downgrade given the news. Now what do I think about this one? I do think that this is a very risky trade on its all. Now the reasons why I'm talking about this one is because they didn't meet that NDA, and it's definitely going to be taking some time in order to go back and do some clinical trials in order to provide better results for that NDA to pass through. And if that's going to happen, it most likely will bore out some investors. Now you get to see with each news cycle, sometimes it does get dropped, it recovers a little, and then it drops back on some other PR. So really it is PR game. But I do think you need to be very, very, very careful when you're playing this one, because it does have history of crashing hard. But currently they have insane amount of cash. They're not going to be raising any amount of cash at that level, and that raising of cash was all basically a result of all this massive dilution that has happened here. And I do anticipate that this one will most likely be successful with that NDA later on down the road, as long as they're not cooking the books or anything like that in terms of finding statistical significance. And the FDA is smart enough to look into that. So they did talk about some discrepancies, and hopefully we're going to be able to iron that out. Now there is also a risk that, the discrepancies are actually real, and it will occur with every single drug they test, but in relations towards comparison, but hopefully that's not the case, and we do believe in that company's work so far from what we've seen, and hopefully it will result in bullish returns in the next year or so, but probably you're not going to hear back about an NDA review from here to 6 months. What do you think about this sticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day. Now, if you're still here on this video, make sure to drop down below and join our Discord. We have a lot of different things going on, including, for instance, members that gives picks for free. It's not pump and dumps, we just things we think about, swings, etc. We also have really exciting bots. You can actually use those ones. For instance, we're just testing out this bot, for instance, that gives you Fibonacci resistance points, activities, etc. And we have a bunch of free things, totally free. We run on tips here, and you can ask me questions suggest stocks, etc. It's a really nice community that has been growing up very fast at a very good rate, and it's totally free. If you would like to join that one, feel free to do so in the description below, and have a wonderful day.